So I don't know if it was the age or the Midwestern locale, but I knew a lot of guys like this. And this guy, his deal is that he thinks all his problems will be solved if he can just move to a different town. And he thinks that those problems won't come with him. And maybe he's right. I mean, who's to say? But over the course of the song, what he learns, and by the way, specifically, he really wants to move to Seattle. He's got his eye on Seattle, but he hasn't really told anyone about it. But that's where he thinks he could go and start over. I don't know if he ever gets there, but over the course of the song, he learns maybe that it's not always where you're at, but who you're with. And it's called Buttress. It goes like this. Any curtains in the front room, so I couldn't sleep when the sun showed up with its heavy August heat. I sat up on the couch and surveyed the wreckage, still wearing my wristband, which always makes it worse. The bars have been whatever, we shouldn't have even bothered, but after we went back to Fletcher's with the best part of a handle and a plan to lay the remainder out on the table, listen to some records and suck up whatever Saturday was left. Then Fletcher got this text from this chick Steph he met last weekend. So she was out with girlfriends and they'd gone out dancing, but now the clubs were closing. And they're all dressed up and they didn't really want to go home quite yet. So then there were the three of them, drinking vodka in the kitchen. Tiny, shiny dresses, Steph and two others. And one of them was gorgeous, but she seemed a little standoff. So I chatted up the short one until she brought up her boyfriend. A little later, these kids we used to skate with came traipsing up the stairs with a case of Coors Banquet. They said they saw the lights on and thought that they should check in. When they entered, they had their arms raised like victors. The whole thing had momentum. And I remember standing on the staircase looking over the proceedings, thinking these dudes are mostly decent. I've known them all forever, and friendships stick together. I'm sick of all the sadness, but I gotta stop thinking about Seattle. It's probably good enough right here. But then back there with the bottles and the ashtrays and the fruit flies and the heavy sun and the sticky floors, I wasn't really sure it was all that good anymore. I found my shoes in the foyer and a jumble of sneakers and one silver high heel. Steph came out of Fletcher's bedroom and went into the bathroom. She was trying to be quiet, but I think I heard her vomit. She ran the water a really long time and she came out chewing gum, still in the same dress that she'd worn out to the clubs. Once I put my shoes on, I went out to the sidewalk and squinted in the bright lights, and she came out on the front steps with a high heel in her purse. And the sunlight made sparkles on her sequins, and I wished I had my shades. She cursed the friends that left her, so she couldn't wait for Fletcher. She asked if I had cigs, and I did. She spit her gum out in the gutter and leaned in as I lit it. At first it smelled like spearmint, and then she smelled like smoke. So at 7 a.m. on Sunday, we walked down University towards Broadway. We stopped and got some coffee. She told me she's a hostess at a restaurant. And in spring, she started in Aveda, but she couldn't really deal, so she just stopped showing up. She's been staying with her mother's in New Brighton, trying to save some money. But her mother can't stay sober, so she's sort of scared to leave her. Eventually, she'd like to live somewhere just a little warmer. But for now, it's probably good enough right here. It's probably good enough right here. bench along the river, we watch a dragonfly and its partner hover just above the water. She's told me she loves summer and she's sad it's almost over. She gets depressed around September. It reminds her of going back to school. I told her how last year we went to a wedding in Seattle, and my cousin took us sailing in Lake Union. In the middle of that stillness, I felt an urgency to live where nobody knows me, where all my prior sins could be held against me. I keep thinking about just moving there and crashing with my cousin, doing landscaping or something. But my cousin has 2 children, and Seattle's expensive, funds have been elusive. It'll probably never happen. Yeah, that's probably just as well. Because I don't want to be some dude that makes a big deal out of moving, then comes back a few months later, total fucking failure. Like when Fletcher went to Denver, he had 3 kegs at his send-off. He came back before Christmas, and everyone was laughing, and they won't let him forget it, and they won't let him outlive it. Behind his back, they call him Rocky Mountain Fletcher. They'll destroy you just for trying something different. Now my voice was cracking, and I was pretty close to crying. She put her head against my shoulder, said the ones we've known the longest